He needs no introduction. He's Chandler Fritz. Yeah!
It's just me. It's only one boy's back in town. Guys, thanks for coming out to the show. Thanks to Jack and Davis and Jake Holmes for hosting us. The waiting area back there is super nice. Every drug and its needles represented back there. Thank you for providing refreshments for us. Guys, this is a fun show. This is a very fun show. What was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I have to go pee. You guys ever think about how maybe, just maybe, out there, a Mr. Pip and a Mr. Pepper went to the same grad school? Did you ever think about how Mr. Pip got his dissertation denied while Mr. Pepper didn't? Did you ever think about how, Mr. Pip probably went on to teach high school, because he still loves his field of academia, no doubt. He desperately wants to teach it. But he's also come to the realization that the field just doesn't love him, And Mr. Pip, he's probably that lame high school teacher who his class is like unnecessarily educational. He doesn't remember any of his students' names, And then you ever think about how Mr. Pip probably caught the common cold and was out for a couple of days and posted about it on his Facebook? And how Dr. Pepper just happened to see it after catching Dead Poet Society playing for the 5th time on ABC Family. And Dr. Pepper realizes that while he loves the rigorous setting of the university classroom, no doubt, he still has that deep yearning for a dedicated group of adolescents who can feel the grip of poetry, but are just so confused why they had to be lost in the semantics of form and rhyme structure. So Dr. Pepper goes and substitutes for Mr. Pip, right? And just kills it. He's given him all the extra credit that Pip promised but never delivered. He remembers all the students' names, all 23 of them. And did you ever think about how Mr. Pip probably catches wind of this? And bursts into the classroom, pulls out a gun to reclaim what's rightfully his. And then you ever think about how Dr. Pepper retaliates, grabs one of his students hostage, pulls out a gun of his own and looks at Pip and say, "Take one step closer and I'm putting us both on ice, Pip." And then you ever think how they probably both lost their job for obvious teaching infringements and got replaced by Dr. Lightning from the Shasta School District and Dr. Riffic from Sam's Club Academy. Thanks for letting me indulge in that one. I was real excited to talk about that. We're going to do some more food jokes because Raina's eating Los Fabs right now. Shout out to Los Fabs. It's Fabs, Kyle. So the other day, that was the other night, realistically. It was 2 a.m. Okay, so I had Burger King, right? And look, I've made worse decisions before. But I've never felt like I was helping someone, assisting someone in their own mental breakdown. You know what I mean? Like at this point, Burger King is that guy who's checked in somewhere. And my purchase just made sure that he's going to stay there for a little bit longer. You ever think about what... We're doing hypothetical comedy tonight. You ever think about what the fast food family reunion looks like these days? I mean, imagine that scene. You got McDonald's walking in. He's the patriarch, the golden child of the family. He's handing out Egg McMuffins to everyone with Kanye's All Day playing in the background. That's a marketing campaign those guys missed out on. And then Taco Bell and Wendy walk in because the family's all about interracial incest. And then Jack, obviously Jack's stoned, sitting in an actual box. And then Burger King walks in, right? And he's got one of those sarcasm loading shirts on, except it's backwards and inside out. Right? And starts saying all sorts of crazy stuff, and pretty soon the family's like, "It's okay, guys. We can start acknowledging the fact that he has multiple personality disorder." And he's trying to hand out Cheeto chicken fries, Whopperitos, and hot dogs. Burger King's handing out hot dogs. And he's yelling, "Have it my way or the highway, greasers!" And then face plants to the inevitable game of horseshoe that's happening in a family reunion. Just me? Well, anyways. I'll end on this, guys. So, You'll understand this. So I don't understand the birds and the bees, right? You and me both. Like I know what it's about. I'm not a complete idiot. Like I know the man pees inside the woman. I just mean I don't know that metaphor. Like I was never taught it. You know what I mean? Like when my parents gave me the talk, it was short, sweet, to the point. At one point there was like a lightsaber analogy. Don't ask. Point is, I get it. You know, but this birds and the bees business, I don't get at all. And so you can imagine as a little kid trying to understand what birds and bees have to do with what I was told, lightsabers, was very confusing. I mean, first I had to figure out that they weren't saying the birds and the bees, which as a chapstick addict since the age of 4, I've always kept birds and bees on me at all times. So when a little girl asked me, do you know about the birds and the bees? And I said, well, do you want some? You understand how it could be taken wrong, right? So once I got all of my accidental juvenile sexual offers out of the way, I had to get down to figuring what it was about. I think I finally got it, which is what I want to talk to you about tonight. I think it's time for you guys to learn about the birds and the bees. Do you agree?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Raina. So I'm going to get into the fatherly character, and I want you guys to get into the character of my son. It's going to be 2-part. I'm sorry to put this on you right now. So I'm going to give you as much time as possible because I know you're unprepared. I'm going to turn around and get into character. Son, listen. Sit down. I know the newest episode of your favorite ethnically ambiguous, gender-neutral dinosaur is on. This is important, okay? So important that you need to put down your trains. Yes, all of them, including the caboose. Listen, Johnny, now that you're 17, your mother and I finally figured out, didn't we, Karen, that you're not going to be able to be homeschooled through college. So we decided there's something very important for you to learn. Johnny, what I'm talking about is sexual relationships. No, not salt and vinegar potato chips, kid. Listen to me. Sexual relationships. See, it all starts when a man loves a woman and wants to pulverize every ounce of happiness in their life. And decide to have a child. And what these relationships resemble is something like the birds and the bees, which is a metaphor that your father totally understands. So let's start. To begin, we have the bee. Now the bee's he's an all-around great guy, right? Varsity quarterback at the high school. Super popular with everyone in the town, and he goes off to college. And you know what? The flowers love him, right? And the flowers at the college have no problem offering the bee a little something that starts with a P. You know what I mean? Pollination, baby. So this bee is pollinating all around town, having the time of his life, until one day the bird shows up. Now here's what you need to know about the bird, son. The bird's going to look all sleek and elegant, the way she flies around Monty's on $1.50 margarita night like it's nobody's business. And so you can't fault the bee for being attracted to the bird. And so what? Maybe the bird and the bee go on a ski trip together, and maybe things get a little cool outside and warm inside, and one thing leads to another, the bee stings the bird. And you know what happened when the bee stings the bird, Johnny? The bee dies. And that's very important for you to know, because you're about to go to ASU, and that's a big hive. And I've known way too many good bees to waste their sting on bad birds. Oh, Johnny, don't cry. Don't. Johnny, it's okay. It's okay, Johnny. Listen, you know what? You're going to go to college. You're going to have a lot of fun. And don't worry about this birds and the bees business, because at the end of the day, every bee that goes to ASU ends up getting screwed over by the old crow. Thanks so much, guys. This is a lot of fun. Have a good rest of the night.